Hot Apostle. Help us build the kingdom. Like, share, and subscribe. So we have a long first reading again from the book of Exodus. It is, if you remember yesterday's reading, yesterday was the burning bush. I am who am, God revealing his name to Moses and calling Moses to this job of leading the people out. I didn't point this out yesterday, but I will highlight it a little bit today. What were the people after they're led out of slavery? What are they supposed to go do? They're supposed to go worship God. That's what they're being given their freedom to do, is to worship God. They have been oppressed in Egypt, and they have kind of lost their way spiritually, and they've begun to worship the gods of Egypt. Okay? Now, the series of plagues that we skipped over, and this is going to be the last plague, the death of the firstborn. Each one of them symbolically, this is what the scripture scholars tell us, is kind of defeating one of the Egyptian gods, okay? So we go through this series of plagues, the frogs and the gnats and the Nile and this and that and the next thing. Well, we come now to the death of the firstborn and the institution of the Passover. I said yesterday, you can hardly overemphasize the significance of God revealing his name to Moses as I am. I'm existence itself. These are giant building blocks in our understanding of our faith. What's happening as we read through the book of Exodus. So today, the institution of the Passover. I can't tell you, I could not overdo what a significant point in the history of the nation of Israel and, frankly, in the history of Christianity, because we see ourselves as fulfilling these things. All of this, Moses and the Passover, are anticipating the coming of Christ. And Jesus, when he's walking through the field with his disciples, his 12 apostles, and they're picking the grain, Jesus says something at the end of the gospel. Something is greater than the temple here. He's teaching these Pharisees. He's just not slapping them around. He's teaching them. I'm greater than the temple. Now, that would have taken them back. Because Jesus, this is our understanding of things, and I hope you get it. Jesus is going to replace Moses with himself. He's going to replace David with himself. He's going to replace Solomon with himself. He's going to replace the temple with himself. He's going to replace the Passover with himself. He's going to replace the Exodus with himself. All of that stuff in the Old Testament is all anticipating the coming of Christ. I say to you, something greater than the temple is here. And that's like too much for some of them. And for others of them, it's like, aha. And so, who is Jesus? Who do you say that I am? Who is he? He's the new Moses. He's the new David. He's the new Solomon. He's the new Passover. He's the new temple. And all of the Old Testament. We don't say the Old Testament is done away with in Jesus. We say the Old Testament is fulfilled in Jesus. And so we're seeing him teaching his apostles and everybody that he is fulfilling the Old Testament. And some of them are going to get it and some of them aren't, okay? And we're here today, this morning, to celebrate the new Passover. That's why you're here. And maybe learn a little bit about where it all came from and all too. Well, that's important. Okay, that's important too. But we are here this morning to celebrate the sacrifice of mercy. I desire mercy and not sacrifice. And so, my brothers and sisters, Jesus is the new Passover. He's the new Exodus. He is the death of the firstborn, but then the resurrection of the firstborn as well.